Hey everyone, Michael Short here. Come on, let's go outdoors. You know, Dr. Doolittle was pretty good at talking to the animals. Now, I don't have Dr. Doolittle here to show us how he did it, but I've got the next best thing. Brad Fenson is joining us, and we're going to talk about ducks, and in particular, how important it is to have the right kind of duck call at different points of the hunting season. Brad, thanks so much for standing in for Dr. Doolittle.
I'll do my best.
You and I were talking a little bit before we rolled on this interview about how ducks do communicate differently at different times of the year. Now we're really early into the duck season this September. So what sorts of sounds should hunters be trying to imitate out there?
Well, the best one is probably a hen. A hen that has a brood is going to talk to her ducklings this time of year. And even though they're fledged and flying and going out to the fields, that family unit is going back and forth. And if you're out on the water, you're going to hear mama talking to the brood, and they listen and they'll come scurrying over. They collect, and it's just, just a real soft, just a real gentle quack. She's talking to her kids, nothing too exciting. And that's what you're going to do in the field or on the pond when you're trying to attract them too. You see them flying around, you just want to sound like mom talking to the ducklings, come on over and have an afternoon snack type of thing. Things change pretty quickly as the birds start to migrate. We see congregations of birds on the wetlands. They start to stage, they start to feed in really big groups. Alberta will get 5, 6, 7,000 mallards and pintails in a field feeding on peas or barley, and it's pretty exciting. But for a duck, it's pretty hard to find mom after all of that mayhem and all of the birds are flying around. So a lot of times there's two things that happen. The birds fall out of their family units, they get fully plumed, their feathers come in, and if you watch the feet, especially on the drakes, you'll see them change color from a dull yellowy orange to a hot orange to almost like a firecracker red. And that's a hormone change. And what that does is the males are really paying attention to the ladies. So a hen call is critical at any time of the year, whether you're talking to the young ones or if you're trying to attract the bigger flocks where the drakes are all ears, because as early as October, they're going to try to start pairing up and keep a mate until the spring. So, the hail call where it's just gentle. The biggest mistake I made when I went duck calling is my buddies would say, you sound like a duck that's had 10 cups of coffee and a monster. And it's like, slow it down. The ducks are relaxed. They're having a good time. They're feeding. It's more like, just nice and gentle. If you get all wound up, they're going to be like, holy cow, like who's drinking all the caffeine? This is like getting out of control, and they're going to be alarmed. So the best tip I can give you is pick up a call, whether it's an inexpensive one or a nice acrylic one, and just practice. And it's not about belting out the notes. It's about getting it right. Nice gentle quack. You start there. You can do a feeding chuckle. If you have trouble starting out, try saying the word voot. It'll help you get those notes down. The thing you can do that really is going to help you in the long term is pay attention when you're on the marsh. Listen to the ducks. You hear how calm they talk, how they talk to each other. And most of it's hens, but later in the season, when they've had some hunting pressure, you might hear the drakes whistle, the pintails whistle, drake mallards whistle, teals whistle. Not all ducks quack, and that's most people don't know that. But if you wanted to try a drake whistle, so you can whistle at the pintails, the drake mallards, or even teal. Do a little bit of practicing. I'm a little bit rusty, so it doesn't sound too authentic, but the ducks seem to come anyway. So
Yeah, that's one of the questions. I mean, could you do more harm by doing that or versus just not trying calling in? At what level do you need to be proficient before you should actually be out on a blind doing it?
The best advice I can give you is if you sound alarming, you're going to alarm ducks. If you sound calm, cool, collected, having a good time, they're going to listen, pay attention, and probably come to you faster. So your buddies can be a good indicator. The people in the blind tell you whether you sound hyper and uptight or whether you sound cool and quacked. And just make it fun.
You mentioned, Brad, about the different types of calls one can get. Does spending literally hundreds of dollars going to make you a better duck caller?
No, I would say that the easiest calls to blow are some of the least expensive, like the old Edson caller by Sure Shot is a good one. You know, lots of people started with an Olt many years ago. I don't even know if they still make those, but you can start off with a very inexpensive call, master the notes. What you're going to find is as you pay attention, you start hearing the distance or difference, you're going to want to move up to a better call where you can really control things. You know, people say they put a Cajun slur on the end of their hen calls and they do different things, but you can really do that with a more expensive call. But you can certainly make all the sounds you need with an inexpensive call. So whether you're spending $200 or $400, just talk duck and be nice and calm about it.
I mean, obviously, there is scenarios where people can call ducks in competitions and that type of thing. So this is this could really become an art form down the road for somebody that wants to get into it.
Absolutely, and in the States, calling ducks is huge. But you have to remember, a lot of their seasons don't open up till November, December. So those ducks are already geared up for finding a mate, pairing up, and doing all that, and it makes a huge difference. We start off early. There's no hormones in the equation, and it's not going to attract more birds doing that. So quack gentle. As the season progresses and you get into that really late season, then it's really important to really talk cool, collected hen. And that's where those competitions come in, is really working that hen call and being able to talk duck at the most critical time when those drakes are all looking for a lady that's not already paired up. So seasonal transitions, watch the feet, listen to the ducks, pay attention to the family groups versus big flocks, and you'll shoot lots of ducks in Alberta.
We noticed that your calls have attracted a couple of very young flocks to you here with
it's funny because
with your daughters.
when we head out to the blind, who likes to call the birds?
Me.
Give a duck call. There you go. Anyone can do it. And they've been calling ducks since they were 3 years old. And when I start a call and they're like, oh, Dad's out. And that's why they came over. So it's all fun. And if the kids can do it, we can do it. So don't be bashful. Pick one up and give it a try.
Brad, thanks so much. And hey, folks, get out there. Practice before you get out there. Yes. But we certainly wish you a very successful fall duck season. Till next time, I'm Michael Short. Come on, let's go outdoors.